Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Double Federation. This episode we are going to be watching a video and discussing a battle between the Porto Hydreigons owned by Menino Jardim versus the RGV Pinsir owned by Sharky Yoshi. So as always, this is post-commentary and I will discuss the team now. So, the Porto Hydreigons are running Ditto, Liepard, Smeargle, Ho-Oh, Mawile, and Yveltal. So not only do they have quite a lot of... I don't even know. What would you even call this? Taunty, gimmicky stuff? You know, you've got Ditto, you've got Smeargle, you've got Liepard. They're all not your ordinary choices, except for Smeargle, obviously, with some very unique movesets. But then they bring the power with Mawile and Yveltal and Ho-Oh, so it's kind of an interesting mix and match. Now the Pinsir, the RGV Pinsir, they do have Ferrothorn, Clefairy, Talonflame, Kangaskhan, Mewtwo, and Dialga. So off the bat right there, they have pretty much a full team of power with Clefable and Clefairy, and Ferrothorn backing up the power. So let's just get straight into this. Let's see what they do and how they do it. I'm very curious to see what happens here. So, the RGV Pinsir are going to send out Talonflame and Kangaskhan both fast with the Fake Out and the Brave Bird, while the Hydreigons are going to send out Liepard and Yveltal. So, very curious to see what's going to happen here. Liepard does indeed have a faster Fake Out than Kangaskhan, so we'll most likely see a Fake Out happen. Now, the Talonflame can hit the Liepard very hard. No! Wow, instead, we are going to see a Foul Play off onto the Ferrothorn. Now, Ferrothorn does have high base attack for a defensive type Pokemon, so that Foul Play will do more than half, but it will result in a bit of a damage back onto the Liepard. Now we're going to see a knockoff onto the Talonflame, knocking its Life Orb off the crit, bypassing the burn that had already hit it, which is actually not very good for the Yveltal, because while knockoff might be its only physical move, it's still a very powerful move. Now we're going to see a Tailwind come off from the Talonflame, so that's priority for you guys back at home. And we're going to see a Foul Play go off onto the Talonflame. Now the Talonflame will go down to that very low. Talonflame doesn't have high attack, but it had low enough HP for that to kill him. Now the Hydreigons are going to respond with their own Tailwind, so everything's back to neutral now. In response, the Pinsir will bring out the Kangaskhan, whose fast Fake Out will be able to stop both of these. However, the Hydreigons will respond to that by bringing in their Mawile, which will drop the attack of Kangaskhan by 1, as well as the Ferrothorn. So we'll just have to see how this turn plays out. We will see the Mega Evolution go off onto the Kangaskhan, which is always a good sign. You never want to use a non-Mega Kangaskhan, that's for sure. And the Fake Out will go off onto the Mawile, so excellent prediction from the Hydreigons. Then, the Yveltal will go for another knockoff, knocking off the Ferrothorn's... I don't even know what item he has. I didn't see. Lumberry, so there's nothing to see. So that thing can be completely burned forever now. So that's always a good thing. As you saw, knockoff is still pretty strong even though Yveltal is burned, which is very good. Very good indeed. Yveltal does have sports and power. It is not the most popular of the X and Y trio. Actually, no, Zygarde isn't the most favorited, but Xerneas is obviously more used. In comes the Ho-Oh. Oh man, I wonder what's going to happen here. Obviously, the Yveltal was in KO range from both a Gyro Ball from a Ferrothorn and even a simple Sucker Punch or something from the Kangaskhan. So that's good. Now, the Kangaskhan being at -1, that low kick is not going to do nearly enough to take out this Mawile. Honestly, that was barely enough to take out anything. So that's crazy. Now we're going to see a Gyro Ball come off from the Ferrothorn into the Mawile. And that won't do enough either, because again, Mawile's pretty slow. Still, Gyro Ball's not going to do enough. And we see a Sucker Punch come off. We see a... Oh, excuse me as I hiccup. We see a Brave Bird come out, which is definitely not what I expected. I expected at least a Sacred Fire. But that might have been overkill anyway, because Brave Bird obviously was more than enough to take out the Ferrothorn. All the recoil, though, will add up, and we'll have to see how they play out with that. Now, both Tailwinds are going to go down, so they're, again, back at neutral. It's almost as if nothing was even ever up. Dialga is going to come in for the RGV Pinsir, and we're going to see a protect from the Mawile. Now, Sacred Fire will come off. It is neutral, but it has a very high rate of burn. Unfortunately for the Ho-Oh, it does not get that burn. We will see a Sucker Punch from the Mawile, though, and that will put it in range for Sacred Fire to KO, putting the first game into the Hydreigons' hands. So there's a 1-0 victory. Well, no, not 1-0. I believe that was a 3-0. Yeah, 3-0 for the Hydreigons. So that's a great start for them as we move into the second match of the best 2 out of 3. So really, again, as with every set, the opponent who lost the first match really has to win the second match in order to even have a chance of winning the set, because once you have one win, you're already halfway there to victory. So, going into the second battle, we'll have to see if any of the players change up their strategies, if they bring in something different, if they stick with the old because it worked or not. So for the RGV Pinsir, they're going to answer our questions right away with Clefairy and Dragalge. That is not Dragalge. Dialga. And the Hydreigons are also going to keep their Liepard lead, but also bring in Ho-Oh. So, what's going to happen? Well, I think we can assume, well, I guess we can't assume the Follow Me's coming out anymore. Mainly because they switched out. And there's no reason to go for Follow Me if you're going to be switching out. So, in comes the Mewtwo, and obviously the fake out was pretty obvious. I guess that's probably why we didn't see the Follow Me. But the Sacred Fire will come off onto the Clefairy, and while it doesn't get a 2-hit KO, it does get the burn. Now, the Liepard does take a Moonblast to the face, and it really does a lot. Even though that is a Clefairy, Liepard's very, very frail. Now, we're going to see the Liepard come out because we're not entirely sure what it's going to do, even though the Foul Play is a very strong option against the Mewtwo. It's most likely outsped. I'm not too certain about that. It's either outsped or he was predicting for the Follow Me, which both works out well. Now, we do see an Icy Wind come off of Mewtwo. Now, I'm not too familiar with Mewtwo, so I guess it does get Icy Wind. Very obviously, it does get it. And that's going to miss the Ho-Oh, so we're not going to see a slowdown on the Ho-Oh, but we will see the Clefairy go down. That burn was very lucky on the Hydreigon's side, simply because without that burn, that Clefairy would have lived to see another turn. Now, with the Mawile out, it doesn't really matter, because the Mawile will kill the Clefairy. But, long story short, it mattered in the long run. So we're going to see the Mawile switch out, not only preserving its base form with the Intimidate, but probably a little bit worried about an Earth Power coming off of Dialga. Now we're going to see a Calm Mind come off of the Mewtwo, which is a surprising tactic, specifically considering we know that this Yveltal has physical knock-off. And that's a little scary for the Mewtwo. Now we're going to see a Draco Meteor probably... Oh, no, not onto the Yveltal, onto the Ho-Oh instead. Will this take it out? Wow, it really doesn't. Again, I'm not too familiar with the defenses and the offenses and the stats of these Pokemon, but it's surprising to see it not do... Well, it did more than half. Never mind, I take that statement back. I was going to say I'm surprised it didn't do even half. But we will see the Sucker Punch come off, and that will be more than enough to kill the Mewtwo. Again, Calm Minding, even though the Yveltal is physical. Now, the Yveltal did switch in, so it's very fair to understand that, but hey, what you gonna do? We're gonna see it recover off onto the Ho-Oh, which is a very good attack. Now, even though the Draco Meteor is -2, this should still do a decent amount of damage. It's a little less than I expected, but I guess that's because it's -2. Now we are gonna see the Kangaskhan, and assuming the Hydreigons are predicting the fake out onto their Yveltal, we're going to see yet another switch into the Mawile. Now, can the RGV Pinsir predict this and Earth Power the Mawile? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's going to be what happens in the match. So let's see what's going on. Let's see how this ends. And of course, the numbers are in the Hydreigons' favor. We're not going to see a fake out. Instead, we're going to see a double edge. And wow, Ho-Oh is so busted. No, I'm kidding. But that does take a lot of, oh my god, I forgot what I was saying, so I got stuck in a loop. A lot of beating. We will see the Draco Meteor go off onto the Mawile, but unfortunately that was aimed for the Yveltal, and the RGV Pinsir will forfeit their match. So that ends up in a 2-0 victory for the Porto Hydreigons, however you want to say it. And with that, guys, I thank you so much for watching, and I hope to catch you guys at the next episode. Peace.